looking at it, I feel the quality that we put out the last 18 months as Welsh rugby hasn't been the standard that we'd like to do and give. And, you know, we look at the under-20s over the last 8 years. The best that the under-20s has done is third, and that was 8 years ago. And after that, we've been fourth, fifth and sixth. And, you know, are we putting enough resource in developing our younger talent, giving them the opportunity to be ready for professional rugby? So if you look at the last 8 years, we've had the bottom half of the under-20 Six Nations feeding into the men's team, which hasn't been that quality enough. So I think there's more to be done at an academy level. And if we went down a region, it makes the quality of the product better because the squads are stronger. There's more resources from the funding going from 4 to 3. But, you know, they've paid a lot of money to have, you know, outside resource and looking at the Welsh game, and this is the decision they've gone with, you know. And I think you were making a point earlier, Alice, that it was recommended that, when was it, I think?
Yeah, I think it was a couple of years ago, the Oakwell report recommends a big change in rugby. I think they've recommended 3. But I think to go against that recommendation, there's got to be some real thought put into it, unless you're going to go with the recommendation that you've paid for. You know, whether it looks like going completely down to 3 regions, or whether you sort of do what Ireland did a couple of years ago, where you focus your funding on maybe 2 of the clubs. One becomes a development, and one is sort of in the middle, and you trust that the 2 that you're putting the funding into then drag the others up. And I think what's happened with, you know, Leinster, Munster, Ulster, Connaught, that happened originally, and then obviously Connaught ended up winning the league in 2016, and Leinster and Munster at the top end of the league every year, and you know, competing for the Heineken Cup as well, or the Champions Cup.
It's whether or not, like, if we say we put more money into 2 of the regions, would the other 2 be happy with that? Like, are they willing to put their ego to a side? And that's the issue here, I think, is that, like, no one's. For me, the main picture is to get Welsh rugby back to where it should be, and that's competing and winning games across the board. And until, like, egos are in the place where, like, we're all on one common goal, we're not going to get that.